All right, you let me know when you're ready. I can start in 2 minutes, or it's up to you.
I think if we want to get started, I think that'd be okay.
Okay, all right, sounds good. All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. I really, really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to sharing and adding value. Please post in the question box any additional questions you would love me to cover. And again, thank you for being here. I'm gonna, first and foremost, gonna share a little bit about me and then dive into what we're going to cover today. My name is Christina Griffin. I'm a MAPS coach. I am also a team leader of a very large team in Florida. And our team is based out of the Tampa Bay area. So we cover, if you're looking at the state, the whole middle, about 9 counties. I have 41 agents, and our team sold a little over 400 homes in 2020. So just a little bit about myself. I'm not going to dive into my story in a big way because that's not why I'm here. However, I do think it's important for you to, let me mute everybody. All right, mute all. Okay. Just unmute yourself if you want to ask any questions or anything like that. So I apologize. 1 second. Someone with MAPS wanted to join our call. Let me forward him the link. He was having an issue getting in. Hey, forwarding you a new link. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. I apologize, and I will totally get started. Just had a new link come in this morning. Okay, Tom. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay, sounds good. Okay, I apologize. So first and foremost, I'm not here to share my full story. I'm happy to come back at another time if you guys would like me to go into it more, but I think it's important to know where I've came from and what I've been through, as well as the experience that I have and I bring to what I'm teaching you today. I've also been on stage with Gary Keller to share it. So if you guys have any interest and you would like to learn more, feel free to go to KW Connect and you can definitely hear it there. First and foremost, I am a survivor. I believe during this time frame, so many of us need that survivor mentality because we are going through so many different things in the world currently. And I'm a survivor of abuse, cancer, and divorce. My mom, dad, and sister died 9 years apart, exactly 9 years apart. Crazy thing. Cancer. My dad died in an accident, and my sister died in a drunk driving accident. So I've been through a lot. This month, I've been with Keller Williams for a total of 3 years. However, I've been a licensed agent since 2001. So a long time, 20 years. I got gastric sleeve surgery right before I joined KW, and that was due to a doctor suggesting that I needed to lose a lot of weight so my cancer did not come back, which I beat. I had the same cancer that my mom went through. I've lost over 200 pounds since I joined KW. I've lost everything and rebuilt. I am happily married since 2004 with number 2. My husband was actually my personal trainer going through everything that I've gone through. Mom of 3 amazing kids, had a miracle baby. He's 6 years old. They told me I couldn't have. And I will tell you, my faith is stronger than ever. During COVID and the time that we've gone through in the last year, I will be honest with you, it has given me the time to really reset, focus, and really just become the best I possibly could during this time frame, growing as a leader, a coach, a mom, and a wife. We've sold over 4,000 homes. I personally have sold several thousand distressed properties. I'm a contributor, a survivor, and an overcomer. So thank you so much for being here. We have such a great group this morning, and I'm going to share with you what your team leader requested on some basics on pre-foreclosures, short sales, and foreclosures. And I'm going to give you some actionable things that you can walk away in your business today. Okay, we do have a group course that I personally am teaching. It's a MAPS group course. This is our third launch. It is 12 one-hour webinars, and it is an entire hour of full content. And then after, I jump into the Facebook group and I answer any questions. I do many walkthroughs, videos, demos on things that you need to implement in this business. I go through performas with you. We talk about divorce and probate, many things that you need. You're going to have everything that you need to effectively work in the distressed real estate industry. And it could be from representing a buyer on a short sale, running a short sale department where you're dealing with hundreds of them if you choose, or being an REO agent, or just becoming a stronger, more knowledgeable agent to be able to work and properly support your clients. I'm going to show you things like BPOs, a full guide on how to do those. And at the end, we're going to grow into, if you want to be a REO agent, I'm going to show you how to do that. So it's a full process, and hopefully you guys join us. I do want to talk a few key points, and I'll save that towards the end as well. MAPS coaching has changed my life. I am, I'd say, one of the most coachable people that you can possibly imagine. If you are not aware of MAPS coaching and what it offers, we'll give you just a little bit at the end. However, I want to bring your attention to the free training and resources. There's so much at mapscoaching.com that are free trainings that are available to you. So if you haven't been there, please check it out. And Family Reunion is coming soon. MAPS coaching is definitely a community, and it's like nothing I've ever experienced. I love being a coach for them. My key point of contact is Tom Foster. So tom.foster@KW, and I believe he's on this call as well. So I'll let him say hi towards the end. Okay, so we're going to dive into content, and I'm going to share a lot of these links with you at the end. And again, this is just one topic that we're going to go over just to give you some fundamentals. So Black Knight is one of the most comprehensive resources that I highly recommend that you guys check it out, and it's free. Under press releases, every month they give a report about what's happening in the mortgage market. So I want to bring your attention, and this report came out about 3 days ago. So I want to bring your attention to the number of properties that are 30 or more days past due but not in foreclosure are 3.251 million. Number of properties that are 90 or more days past due but not in foreclosure are 2.146. There's 178,000 bank foreclosures that are in that limbo status that haven't been listed yet. It's part of a pre-sale inventory. I personally have a ton of them that they haven't released yet because they're waiting on the moratoriums to expire, which they should be expired hopefully by the time our next launches. Some are expiring the end of February, some are the end of March. And then the number of properties that are 30 or more days past due or in foreclosure is 3.429 million. Now, I want you to understand there are many different types of foreclosures. Many people have said, well, nothing's going to happen until these moratoriums lift. Those are for government-backed loans. There are many different types of loans. There are subprime loans. There are private loans. What we have been told is on the government-backed entities. And I'm going to just share with you a little bit of data for you to check out as well while we're going through this. So Black Knight is, this is the page that you guys would look at, and I'm going to drop so you can start saving these links. But I want you to read this and let this resonate with you. 2020 ends with 1.7 million more seriously delinquent homeowners than at the start of the year. Foreclosures are at a record low. Now, why are foreclosures at a record low? It's because of all of the moratoriums. Everything that is happening currently is why they're at a record low. But guess what? These moratoriums are not going to be forever. We have so many people that need our help, and I'm going to show you the solutions, and I'm going to show you the way to be able to help them and help your community and be that community expert. So make sure to save this link, and this gives you a great summary of exactly what's happening. I'm not going to spend too much more time on this unless you would like me to dive into it more. There's also eviction moratoriums, and they've only been extended for about 30 days. However, Biden is talking to extend them till September, but there's over 40 million plus that are potentially currently in eviction status. So let's go through some of the content, and we're going to dive in, and I'm going to show you some things that you can truly implement into your business right away. Okay, so your state is actually a state that has a lot of privacy, and they have not started full-fledged like other states, the notice of default in a really big way. I have talked to the data provider I work with, and they said they're starting to see those. However, it's not been as rapid as some states. So what I predict is at the end of this month and the end of next month, you're going to see a lot more visibility, and we'll definitely be able to prepare you for that. So I want you to understand first and foremost, and you've probably heard this a ton of times, but I really want to simplify forbearance for you. Forbearance does not mean forgiveness. If somebody owes $200,000 on their home and the payment is $2,000 a month and they haven't paid a payment for 12 months, that $24,000 is going to get added onto what they owe on the property. So in many cases, that is going to eat up their equity if they bought the home in the last few years, because that $24,000 plus commission and closing costs can potentially take up quite a bit of their equity. Yes, it's not like 2008. Many people say that. However, with people in forbearance and not paying their payments, they need solutions right now. I also want you to understand that depending on who owns the mortgage, if it's federally backed, if it's private, it could be a hedge fund that bought a pool of non-performing assets. They all have to pay taxes, insurance, and they have to pay what it costs them to service that money. So regardless of the bank allowing somebody to be in forbearance, there's still a cost to the entity that services the mortgage. Not all of them are going to be able to put the payments on the back of the loan. Many payments are already becoming due. Some of them it's 12 months, some of it's 24 months. There are many different options and many different plans that are out there. So there's still speculation there could be a mortgage bailout for federally backed loans. However, there's nothing that's been in writing yet. So I'm going to show you how to prepare for that and how to look at things differently. So 3 consecutive payments, the 3 consecutive months of failed payments is a pre-foreclosure. When they file notice of default, or when that forbearance agreement is not paid as the person agreed upon, that's when it becomes public record that we're able to see that visibility. Our job is to educate homeowners about their options. Homeowners may already be in forbearance, and the sale price in the pre-foreclosure stage may be higher than the sale price of the foreclosed property. So that's just a little bit of fundamentals for you to wrap your head around. What does pre-foreclosure mean for sellers? Potentially reverse the default status. They could potentially work something out with their bank, sell at market value to settle debts, request a forbearance. A lot of sellers currently are not in forbearance, and they can actually go back and they can request one. They can sell as a short sale, which I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to go over a few of a simplified process I use. However, through our course, I take you through letters, full processes, how to process them, what to say to the loss mitigators. One thing I'll tell you is many people say, how can I get into banks and be a bank-owned agent? The more relationships you have with loss mitigators, the more short sales you do. Those loss mitigators, most of them are asset managers for the banks. So it's a great opportunity for you to be able to ask that loss mitigator who's negotiating the short sale if they can refer you to the bank side of things. Now, something else I want to tell you is short sales are not the way that they used to be. They are quick. We're getting them approved in 2 to 3 weeks. They have systems and processes in place. So short sales, again, are not the way they were 10 years ago. Or it can go into foreclosure. So I'm just going to do a screen share and show you another resource. So as we've talked about, there's a lot of evictions happening. I'd highly recommend you just to start reading the news, look at eviction moratoriums, look at CDC. Biden extended the CDC moratorium, and that was just extended to the end of March. This is not going to be forever. I'm going to show you what that means and how you can actually connect with absentee owners to create a lot of potential opportunity. Now, FHA extends foreclosure and eviction moratorium to the end of February. So you guys know that the actions that we do now, we see them in 60 to 90 days. So this is definitely the time for us to start working our neighborhood, our community, and the people that know, like, and trust us. Biden's executive order will extend foreclosure moratoriums, but it's for CDC, HUD, and VA. They're on an immediate extension till March 31st. Again, government-backed loans only take up, there are more than 11 million mortgages guaranteed by the VA, Department of Agriculture, and HUD. Those are not all of the loans. That is just a portion. So it's important for us to know how to work within our community. Now I'm going to show you something, and then part of our course, I want you to understand, I'm going to show you resources that many of you don't even know are available as part of your multiple listing. There are programs like Remind, Realist, CoreLogic, and there's ways to be able to look at your farm and look at your area in a completely different way. And when your state has that visibility, even more, you're going to see it in a different light. This one is IMAP. You may or may not have it, but there are many different resources I do walkthroughs on, and you should have at least 1 or 2 of them. It allows you to take a neighborhood, and you're going to have your neighborhood that you focus in, and it allows you to pick the foreclosures that are happening, the ones in notice of default. Canceleds are really great right now because we're listing more houses and people I work with from that were canceled in March that they're now ready to sell. And then you can even look at expireds. So I personally use this system as well as several others. During COVID, I've shared that I've lost a lot of weight during COVID. In general, I like to walk. So I have a process that every Sunday morning before church, before my family gets up, I do this, and it could be 8 or 10 new opportunities that are in the area I focus in. And I have letters that I've created that you guys are going to have copies of those letters. You can put your own personal touch on, and I put them on my route, and I call it ding dong ditch. You don't knock on the door. It's early Sunday morning. You put it on their door and you keep going. And we get so many calls, and it allows me to see what's happening in my neighborhood. Not a lot of people, unless this is something you focused at before, even look at the street and the neighborhood that you live within. You could have people all up and down the street that are in foreclosure. As soon as these forbearance agreements come due, it could be a big part of your neighborhood. So I'm going to show you how to look at things differently, and it will definitely allow you to affect a ton of lives and be a community expert. So now is definitely the time to be able to focus before everything starts becoming really visible and becoming that neighborhood expert. And I'll tell you, there are so many ways to do it based upon your budget. It could be a letter on their door. It could be a door hanger. It could be you're mailing your entire neighborhood, just checking in and becoming that community expert. There are a lot of different ways. You can go small based upon your budget. You can put in sweat equity, or you can go bigger. So I'm going to cover, and guys, make sure to post as many questions as you have. I'm going to cover some questions at the end, but I'm going to go over list and things like that right now. So notice of default list are very important. So part of our course, I'm going to give you a ton of them to look within. It's very important to have a list and a provider that refreshes the do not call each and every day. It also is important to have a provider that if you're going to call notice of defaults or expireds or for sale by owners, that you can create your own personal list, your own personal notice of default list. If you call somebody and they say, don't call me again, you need to mark them where you're not going to call them, like your own do not call list. So I personally use Rhode and about 10 other sources. I like that one because their API and how they are updating the do not call all the time. And you can even add phone numbers and check and see if it's on the do not call registry through that one. So public notices of auction are really great as well. County clerk. So your county recorder's office is where the foreclosures are filed. So depending on your state and the visibility, and again, this could grow and it will grow as they become more transparent. Your county recorder's office will have a calendar, or you can even reach out to your local title or attorney's office, and many times they will provide you that list. The reason why I use a system like Rhode is because they have phone numbers available. However, you don't have to always call, and you can stick to the free resources. So I show you how to utilize your MLS resources to do things like send out letters and yellow letters and connect in a really high level. Now I'm going to show you one of my favorite resources. So auction.com is a really great resource. So auction.com, I have listed for banks about 500 plus bank foreclosures. If you're not registered on auction.com with a profile, I highly recommend you to do so. Now, when you are looking at auction.com and you put in your state, your area, and again, your state doesn't have a huge amount of visibility right now because they put the moratoriums in place and didn't allow even non-federally backed loans to get through the courthouses. But you can play with this and check out different states. So you have, I'm just putting your state, and you click on foreclosure homes. These are people, these are homes that have a foreclosure sale date that are in your state. That's not a lot, but it's going to grow and it's going to become more. Now, what I tell everybody is the best way to get started is to take those homes that have a foreclosure sale date, send them a letter, call them, or go in person. I'm going to show you a difference on a state that has allowed the visibility. And again, keep in mind that it's going to change for you guys. Oh my goodness, as well. Look at California. So California has 655 that have a foreclosure sale date. So just something to open your mind to. Heck, just New York has 228 with a foreclosure sale date. So several states in the country did not allow the foreclosures to go through the courthouse. Florida has 641. So they are all having to allow that in the next coming weeks, months. So you're definitely going to see a lot more. So I would definitely recommend you to check out auction.com and register with auction.com. Make sure that it has your background. If you speak a different language, there's a way to register as a buyer and also to register as an agent. And just keep in mind that the visibility is going to change as the foreclosures start to go through the county recorder's office, and you're going to see a lot more visibility. Okay. Okay, you're going to have local newspapers, online, delinquent property tax lists. So many counties are, they have the visibility right now where people that have not paid their taxes, that's going to become a, where you're going to be able to see that. Now, you may not have the foreclosure notice of default visibility yet. However, those delinquent property tax lists, in many cases, people are also delinquent on their mortgage. So that is a great list, as well as tax deed sales, that your county's tax office will be able to show you how to pull that info. And a lot of clients that I work with across the country, they're getting a lot of really great success on those particular lists. I show you about 100 different ways that is not even notice of default to be able to find and bring business, things like condemned property lists, probate divorce, things like that. But that's a really great way for you guys because the visibility is not super high in your area, but you can look at your county tax list. But if you just focus on an area that you work within and let everybody know that you're an expert at this. And one of my favorite ways to do it is there's an app called Hit 'em Up, HITEMUP. You download it on your phone, you text your entire address book. Many of us have been told we need to make care calls. You may have not done that since the beginning of the pandemic, but now's a great time to just reach out to everybody in your address book and just say, hey, just checking in. You can even ask for their address so you can build out your database. And then the follow-up the next week is with a video. I don't do this first because you need to touch them if you haven't touched them in a while, and just say, hey, I know that there are a lot of things happening in the world. There's forbearances, there's people in eviction. I just want you to know, if you know anybody, I'm an expert at this and I would love to help. So there's many different ways and many different things I'll teach you on how to be able to create a lot of income and impact your community in a really big way. Okay. All right, let me take a breath real quick. Sorry, guys. I want to get, and auction.com is free. I want to get as much information as I can to you. Okay, so this is something that you can do and you can do now. As we know, with 40 plus million that are in potential eviction currently, there are absentee owners that are in state and out of state that have rentals that they may or may not want. So there is something called cash for keys. Now, through our course, I teach you all levels of the cash for keys process, but there's cash for keys that if, in essence, what that means is it's convincing a tenant to move out of the property in exchange for a sum of money. So again, it may seem counterintuitive, but cash for keys in many instances is less expensive than going through a lengthy eviction process. So I have investors across the country that are having a lot of success with this in areas that there are moratoriums. And the way to approach it is that you have a solution for the occupant. It's coming with a servant's heart, but for you guys is letting those absentee owners know that if they are struggling with an eviction or they're struggling with a tenant that isn't paying, that you have some options available potentially to be able to connect with them. And the way that looks is you send a simple letter to the tenant and, just checking in, or you call the tenant and say that you have the opportunity to help them financially, and that could be first, last, and security. However, if it's till September, hypothetical, that this eviction moratorium's extended, it would be much better for the landlord to help and give them a few thousand to move now, and you guys sell it or put another tenant in the property. How it's just offering solutions, and we're going to talk to you through our course and be able to provide you options for your clients. But with 40 million plus potentially in eviction, Cash for Keys is a great option to be able to offer your absentee owners and the clients that you're prospecting to currently. Now, many of you don't realize that Cash for Keys is also offered in a short sale process. So when you're talking to somebody that could be in forbearance, maybe their forbearance agreement's not due yet. It could be the fact that they are in forbearance, or maybe they're not. However, they just don't have equity. The bank will pay them several $1,000s in most cases to move out of the property. So that's something that I teach you as part of the full short sale process. Is being able to, when you're talking to somebody that maybe is struggling right now, that they don't want to ruin their credit. However, when you get the mortgage payoff, plus the forbearance, plus the closing costs, there's very little or no equity. You can advise them that in many cases, the banks may pay them a few $1,000s to move and relocate out of the property. And it's a really, really great option. Now, on the other end, Cash for Keys, I teach you how to do that on the bank-owned side of things. When you represent the bank as a listing agent, that's what we do. We go and knock on the door, or we send a letter and say the seller is the property is now owned by a bank, and we're going to pay you a few $1,000s to move. You have to remove all of your belongings, clean it out, free of any debris. As you give us the keys, we're going to give you the cash. And I have a bunch of those currently with the banks that I'm working with, and I've done hundreds of them. Now we're actually having to extend them because several people are dealing with COVID. And the bank and the entity that owns the mortgage, they don't have any issues around that. So, okay, guys, I'm gonna I have a few more slides, and then I'm gonna open it up for some questions. So you guys can take a picture of this as well, but this is just a simplified 10-step plan, and I dive into this more in our course on how to do a short sale. I want you to understand to not overcomplicate a short sale. A short sale is a signed listing agreement, the addendum your state requires, and the verbiage that needs to be put in the MLS. Your seller is going to have a packet to fill out. There's an authorization sent to the lender. Follow up and request the short sale package, complete the short sale package, submit it, follow up, schedule a BPO. I'm going to teach you all about BPOs and what to look for on those. Negotiate with the loss mitigator. They're going to be the person that could also potentially lead to future bank-owned foreclosures. And then you have a short sale acceptance. So I show you an example of what that looks like, but I want you to think outside of the box. Your title company or attorney's office may already have a third party and negotiator on staff, or they may know somebody. I personally have ran short sale departments. However, I work with a negotiator. I don't do this process. He works for my title company and they pay him. So there are many resources you may not know are even available to you. And I teach you either how to create that and streamline the process, or to how to look at those resources that maybe you didn't even know were available. But short sales are easy, they're simple. One of the biggest platforms that short sales are processed through right now is equator.com. There's many systems that the banks use, and they have simplified it where you upload a package and it's assigned to a loss mitigator, and they do it right on the platform. Equator is a great one for you guys to join as well. I've done several thousand transactions as a listing agent and short sales on Equator. Make sure your profile is there and your profile is up to date, but it's a really great website to also be part of. Okay, so I'm almost done. In essence, I want you guys to realize there are many different ways to prospect, you know, picking up the phone, handwritten letters, door hangers, post-it notes. If you put a note on a door, and again, it's going to depend on your COVID restrictions. I know some states right now are on, I call it house arrest. They're home right now, and you have to be safe. So door hangers, I'm not encouraging you right now to knock on the door. You can put something awesome on the door and allow them to call you. A post-it note just saying, please call me with your name and phone number, they can call you. Pop buys, I love $5 pizzas. People that are getting ready to lose their home in the next few weeks due to foreclosure, they always call back a warm meal. Everyone loves pizza, keep it simple with a note. I give you examples of all of these different things that you can apply in any aspect of your business. You need to long-term nurture them. I want you to understand that a foreclosure, a notice of default, is very similar to a divorce. You file and they file for a divorce at the beginning, and then you have when the divorce is final. It's the same thing with a notice of default. There's a whole different level of emotion. Our job is to get to them as soon as possible to help them protect their credit. And I teach you different ways to be able to do that and work with them. So you're going to learn what to say, how to say it. If you were offered the right price for your house, would you be willing to sell? Is one of my favorite. That's just a first step into the conversation. And then you follow up with, I know your house is in foreclosure, and there's different scripts that you get so many scripts with part of our course. So you're going to learn how to change lives. You're going to learn how to help, have a servant's heart. And I want you to open your mind to possibilities. It could be just creating wealth for yourself. It could be building your own rental portfolio. So I'm going to show you how to find these opportunities, how to find these assets, and how to look at things that maybe you're not looking at now. Like, I'll give you an example. Your neighborhood, you could have somebody that the grass is a little high. That's a perfect opportunity to send a letter to them and reach out to them. Being aware of your surroundings is so incredibly important on the things that you do. Tom, are you available to just say hi real quick, and then I'm going to answer questions?
I am. Good morning.
Hi, Tom. Thanks for joining us. Guys, Tom is with MAPS Coaching, and I just wanted him to say hi in case you have any questions about my course, other things with MAPS.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm a resource here at MAPS dedicated to supporting you all in the Market Center there, whether it be for our group coaching programs like Christina's here. And our group coaching programs are really programs that are designed to help you guys sharpen your skill set in a particular area of the business, right? They're webinar-based programs. We obviously have our one-on-one coaching program. So I can certainly be a resource for you to kind of help you understand which program within MAPS would be the best next step for you to help you take your business to the next level. And as Christina mentioned, if you have an interest in learning more or have questions about Christina's program, or you'd like to get enrolled in Christina's program, feel free to send me an email at tom.foster@kw.com, and I can reach back out to you guys directly to answer any questions you have and to help you get enrolled. It's going to be an awesome program. Obviously, you can tell Christina is an expert in this area, and this is a space that's going to get really, really crazy here in the next 6 months. So anyway, thanks, Christina, for the opportunity.
Thank you. And I'm a little passionate about this. Can you tell?
Just a little bit.
Thanks, Tom, for just, Tom wanted to check out my presentation. So I really appreciate you being here and adding value, Tom. And guys, I am going to open it up for questions. I do want to acknowledge I did receive a few private messages that I will answer offline. I'm going to, okay, so Deb, when Melissa's office does short sale negotiations, guys, use a third-party negotiator. The banks pay the third-party negotiator. I'm going to show you how to structure it where you get paid a full commission. We're getting 6% commissions on our short sales. The least amount I've seen is 5%. So when you use a third-party negotiator and they get paid from the title or the attorney's office, it is so much better and such a great experience. One thing I want to mention is when you do these short sales, remember you're helping them to the next step. You're going to do a lot of short sales if you start working in your neighborhood before this stuff becomes visible. And you're going to do a lot of short sales potentially before they default on their credit. Remember, these are future buyers and future sellers, and they're going to talk to everyone about you. They may not say, hey, she did a short sale for me. However, they're going to always give you repeat and referral business. And like Gary says, it's always about building your database. Okay, so as the bank foreclosure agent, do they give you the opportunity to buy them for yourself? So great question. I'll be honest with you, I have not been able to buy because of that reason. Federally backed, when you are an agent for federally backed properties, you have to ask permission. However, most of them, they don't care if you're buying due to other resources. So you always keep it very professional. With the banks, you're always working with them to get them the best price and sell it in the least amount of time for them. However, they don't, if you're buying a pre-foreclosure or a short sale, it doesn't matter. But many of them are going to require an arm's length process. And what that means is when you are arm's length, you're not fully involved in the listing or working with the seller directly. So I'll teach you how to find deals and how to be a bank-owned agent if that's something that you want to do as well. Okay. Awesome, Joanne. Yeah, and you know what's a great thing about those short sale negotiators that have done it for, like I have, many people stopped short sales 10 years ago. I've been doing short sales for over 10 years. I've been doing them since 2002 when there was no processes. So when you build those relationships, and if you've got a negotiator that is experienced, they're going to know those loss mitigators that could potentially create opportunity for you for the future. Yes, that's correct, Joe. You cannot buy a short sale from a client. You do have to sign an arm's length transaction. So if you find something that you want, that's where you refer the listing to somebody in your office. Always do the right thing. It's not ever worth losing your license. So you disclose, and make sure to do the things necessary. So I'll teach you guys all about those. And we have a really great opportunity to review an actual approved short sale and what that looks like. HUD has required some new addendums that are within the short sale affidavit. And one of those is that the property has to be on the market for 7+ days. It's either 7 to 15, depending on who backs the loan. And when it's on the market for that long, the seller is required to take the highest offer, and the seller signs that. So that's a new addendum required on HUD and federally backed loans. Before, there were investors that would do short sales and the seller would just sign the lowest cash or the cash offer because they'd wait the longest. However, the bank and the entities that are federally backed, they're wanting you to get the best price for them. So I'm going to show you how to not overcomplicate it. Yes, auction.com is free. Equator is not. You can do a free account. I do not recommend on Equator for you to buy the zip codes and things like that currently, unless you have a knowledge base of what I'm going to teach you, because you have to have BPO experience and things like that. So I'll teach you how to build your resume. Guys, I have a few more minutes. Does anyone have any questions at all? And hope you don't mind, I talked fast because I wanted to power pack as much information as I possibly could. So any questions? What if you refer the property to an agent on your team and the person is your wife? Would that be okay? Or would everything has to be fully disclosed so that you can disclose that? But what I would say is if Arm's length is not related, no personal connection, not a corporation that is owned by the agent. They really want you to be arm's length as much as possible, because many years ago, bank-owned foreclosures, they would go, I don't know if anyone's been licensed a million years like me, they'd go under contract as soon as they hit the market. Now that's why the entities are requiring 5, 10, 7 days before they accept an offer, because they want to be fair and they want all offers presented. So, but I'm going to teach you some strategies on how to get your offers accepted in the biggest way possible. Just being aggressive, structuring them with high escrows, quick closing dates, and low inspection periods. Is that property.key.com IMAP something you buy? Okay, so guys, IMAP is a resource that I shared with you. I would highly recommend, and I'm going to show you how to utilize that in your business in the highest level possible, is check your MLS. You're going to have CoreLogic, you're going to have Realist, you're going to have Remind, you're going to have IMAP, depending on what your MLS provides. All of those different free options are going to be able to show you in some form or fashion what I showed you. So I have full walkthroughs on those, and we'll be able to share with you guys. So any other questions, make sure to take down Tom's info, and I really hope to see you guys in the course. We will be opening the Facebook group this week for the course as well, and we start on March 9th. All right. All right, guys.
Thank you, Christina.
Thank you so much, and I'll send you the recording. And again, thank you everybody that joined. So look forward to meeting you more. Talk to you later.
Thank you.
Bye.